Hey guys, this is Jella and welcome back to my channel. We are now on part 4 in our Japanese town series. For this part, we will be continuing this building for the food district. I made a takoyaki shop on the left corner, then a yakitori shop, which is grilled meat skewers, and a Japanese Izakaya restaurant above. If you haven't watched the previous parts of the series, make sure to watch those first. On the previous part, we made this building with a bakery cafe and taiyaki shop. Now we will be making the takoyaki shop on this left corner. We are going to do 3 different shops for this part, so this is going to be a lot money and plot data usage. The middle entry here, which you can see leading towards the second floor, will be the Japanese Izakaya restaurant, which we will also do later on. So I added a flat crown molding that I also colored the same as the exterior walls. I copied the walls from the front shops as this building is owned by one person and being rented out commercially. For this first corner shop, I wanted the takoyaki shop to have an open counter seats while the food is being cooked in front. A street food within a small restaurant, something like that. So I added plain counters on the corner, and then we will place a large open window frame on both sides where the counter is placed. I colored the window frame the same as the wall, and then resized the side window to match the length of the food counter. I made a curtain logo on the previous part, but since I used a vertical plank, it wasn't copyable. It will be a bit tiring to do this over and over again if we are adding this curtains in front of shops. So I decided to use basic shapes since this can be easily duplicated. The previous curtain was a bit too big, so I will try to make this one smaller since the window is also not that big. I copied the round rod as well and placed it on top of the basic shape, so it can just be duplicated as a whole. Now you can just place this on top and use the transform tool to move them side by side. For the curtain color, I will be changing this to bright red later, because the decal I made was closer to the bright red color than this red shade. So save your money on this one. Then we are placing an ordinary rope as the curtain string, and just place it across the window. As you can see, the curtain logo we made is too straightly lined. So I'm gonna move some angles to this, and spend a few money adjusting it. I wanted to add an awning above, and I will use this supported metal awning for this shop. I think it looks good on this corner. Just place it above the window frame, and don't mind the metal bars on the second floor because it wouldn't reach the windows for the upper building. I also rescaled the awning to match the width of the window frame. Now for the color, I wanted this to be a bright red color as well. But I used a darker shade for this to have some difference with the curtain color. I also used a vertical panel texture. Then place another awning on the front window frame. For the dining section of the shop, we will have an outdoor seat extension using the horizontal planks. Rescale the thickness of the plank so it would look like a folding extension table. As for the chairs, I used this stylish stool, but we will recolor this to make it look more outdoorsy. We want to give it a street food vibe chair, so I used a metal texture for this to make it look recycled. I placed 3 on both sides and it fits perfectly. I just love how this is looking right now. I colored the extension table to brown with old wood plank texture. I also colored the door the same as the wall texture to match the whole shop. Then I copied the flooring from the other shop and used it in here as well. I wanted to add a small dining table inside, so I added a quarter fence to separate the kitchen counter and dining area. Since this is a small shop, we will just use the square table and color this the same as the extension table outside. I used the upholstered chair for the shop and used the same colors as I did in the outdoor stools. We can only fit 2 dining tables in here because I want to still have a walkway inside. I moved the tables on both sides to fit a vending machine in the middle. You can use the in-game vending machines, which costs Bloxburg, or just use the custom one using decals. I'm gonna add a small horizontal window on the side to have an open view from the dining seats. Just place 3 windows on top of each other. I'm just gonna add some clutters in here to make this space less empty looking. gonna add a wooden window grills on this horizontal window using the small round rods. Color this to wooden brown. For the interior walls, I used the large mosaic tile texture with cloudy gray color. Then I added the flat crown molding we used on the exterior as well. I'm gonna add this square party banner at the back wall as a small curtain design. Then I colored the banners the same red color as the curtain logo in front of the shop. As for the kitchen counters, I just colored it to medium gray. Now we are gonna make a custom takoyaki maker using basic shapes. Then I'm gonna use a half sphere instead of the round basic shape. Rescale this to make a small half sphere, but not to the point of being the smallest possible. Then color the flat top to black with dirt texture. This would make it look metallic and also kind of used, which is what we want since this is a very busy shop. As for the takoyaki balls, I copied the texture of the flat top and used burlap color. Now we can fit 5 pieces in 3 rows. I added chopsticks on the side and then moved the takoyaki maker a bit to the left so we can fit another one on the right. Now add some kitchen clutters on the side to fill in the counter. I want to add this hanging lanterns on the windows outside, but because it was poking out above the awning, I just placed it inside the shop. Then adjust the color of the bulb to a different shade so it wouldn't be too red. I also added an electrical outlet by the air conditioner unit for more details. As for the lighting, I used the elderly lamp to make the shop look old. But again adjust the bulb color so it would still have that warm balanced tone. Then I colored the ceiling to brown, with diagonal bordered marble texture. Let's make a copyable plate of takoyaki balls. I placed a normal plate and then copied the taco ball from the maker. Rescale this a bit smaller so we can fit 4 pieces in one plate. Then use the transform tool to move some pieces away from each other so it wouldn't compress the middle. Now we are gonna add the Japanese mayo using the smallest round rod. I resized the rod as thinly as possible. Then try adding this like a drizzle on top of the takoyaki balls. Now we are gonna add another small round rod, and this will be the bonito flakes. I used a pink shade for this one and a flowery texture to make it look flaky. And our takoyaki plate is complete. It is quite expensive though because one plate costs $1,600 to duplicate. Now moving to the second shop next door. We're gonna make the Yakitori shop. This is bigger than the takoyaki shop since it is a 4x5 square space. And then we have a 1x2 toilet space at the back. Like the first shop, I want an open window dining in front, so I will use the plain counters again and place it in a U-form kitchen style. There will be dining area by the window as well as inside the shop. I added the washing area and fridge on the side wall. As for the window frame, I used the same large window and rescale this to fit the counter space. Since this is a yakitori or grilled skewer shop, I wanted the walls to be dark colored. So I used dark stone gray with vertical panel texture. I copied the horizontal plank that we used earlier and used it in here as well. Then for the seats, we will use the formed metal stool. I'm just gonna add 3 seats outside and 3 inside. Now copy the curtain logo that we custom made earlier. It's easier to duplicate now since it is all made of basic shapes and structural items. Since the window is bigger, I added another curtain to the left. You can adjust the height and angle using the transform tool. I'm also gonna add this metal panel awning to match all the metal items we have in here. I colored this to black with the vertical panel texture as well. I think it really gives the look that I want in here. I also recolored the curtain logo to white. There's a space in between the window and door, so I added this square painting where we will place the menu of the shop. Okay, let's go inside, and for the flooring, I will use the checkered tiles and color it dark taupe. I want that brownish color like the grilled meats that we sell from the shop. Then I use the same wall color and texture just like from the exterior. For this wall, we are gonna add some windows, and I used the large panel window but rescaled it a bit smaller. It looks kind of plain, so I added a window shutter and colored it to brown with wood texture. I like how the wood is on the shutters, so I recolored the window frame to wood texture. I also changed the color of the entrance door to dark taupe to match the wooden windows. Then I added the same shutters inside the shop to add some decors. I copied the framed paintings from the other shop, but I will change the decals to menu boards later. Now add a short rail molding all around the inside of the shop. Color this to brown with wood texture just to match the wood design we have with a mixture of metal, steel, and dark walls. For the dining tables and chairs, I use the square table and metal chair. You can use a different texture for the table, but I will use the overlapping panel texture and color it to flint. Because of the space left, I will just add 3 tables of 2. Then add some napkins on the tables. Okay, now we are going to add this griller in the front counter. I'm going to use the delete undo technique where I will delete the counter to place the griller and then undo it so both items would be in the same place. Now the griller was a bit low, so I will add a small box where I will place the griller. I'm gonna add another griller on the side, so you can do the same delete undo technique again. This may take some time doing, especially when it is your first time, but you will get the hang of it. I usually use this technique on no Gamepass builds. Then we are gonna add some kitchen clutters on the counters. Feel free to add whichever you like, but keep in mind of the plot data. I copied the lanterns and added this on the corners so we can have a bit more decor inside the shop. For the lighting, we will use this half-sphere pendant light and place it above the tables. I will use a metal sheet texture to give it a more industrial modern style. Change the bulb color when adding a lot of pendant lights so the shop wouldn't be too bright. I'm gonna color the ceiling to dark brown with the same vertical panel texture. And since the shop is still a bit too dim, we will just add one sleek ceiling light on the kitchen side and color it to a yellowish shade just to give it a warm tone. I cooked a few meat skewers, and you can add more if you like. We will just add some skewers on the griller for roleplay purposes. We can't really place anything on top of the griller, so I will just use a basic cube and place one skewer on top. Make sure to color the paper where the skewers are to match the griller color. Then use the transform tool to place the skewers on top of the griller. I'm just gonna add 3 skewers on one side, and then you can add the plates on the dining tables. I colored the plates to black and then add some chopsticks for dining customers. Now we are gonna make a dipping sauce. And I'm gonna use this log tray and rescale this as small as possible. I'm gonna color the sauce plate to white, and then for the sauce we will use a dark brown color and add some texture to it to make it look like a sauce. Then we are gonna add a wasabi paste on the side. I colored this to moss green and then use sand texture. Now for the rice bowl. Use an empty bowl. We cannot place a basic shape on top, so I'm gonna use a large round rod and just flip the angle so it would look like a scooped rice. I colored it to institutional white and used leather texture. I really wish we could have a rice bowl in the future update. I look forward for new food items like the common foods such as rice, fried chicken, a bowl of noodles. Thinking this makes me so hungry. Anyways, this green thingy that I'm making are edamame green soybeans for side dish. I used small round rods and colored this a bit darker than the wasabi so it would look different from each other. Now add as many as you like on the tables to make it look roleplay friendly. I'm also gonna add a few clutters outside the shop like the trash bins and bags and some other stuff. I added another awning on the side and more lanterns on the corner. Make sure it doesn't pop off above the awning. Okay, now moving to our last shop, which is the Izakaya restaurant. This is located on the 2nd floor of the building. I'm closing off this one by 3 square area for a small toilet. Nothing fancy here, so just the basic stuff like the toilet bowl, sink, mirror, and toilet paper on the side. I'm gonna use this small hedge as the fence railing. As for the floor, we will use a dark brown color with wooden plank texture. I also covered the space from the staircase. As for the interior walls, I'm gonna use the skinny vertical wood plank texture and color it to oyster. Then I added a thin pillar and colored it to medium brown. Place this on the corners of the wall that faces the staircase. Then add a flat crown molding all around the restaurant and color this the same as the thin pillar. I used the same wood plank texture on the railing, but color this to medium brown. Some of the interior walls will be concrete texture with beige color. I colored the wall extending to the second floor the same wood plank, but for the entry area, I used the exterior wall color and texture. Now for the kitchen area, I will also make an open style with bar counter dining seats for customers. So we will just have the basic appliances here like the fridge and cooking stove. You can add more if you like, but I will just keep it basic to save money and just use it for clutters. I used the shaker counters to form a U-shaped kitchen. And then we will add horizontal planks for the bar seating. I like how this tiki stool looks, so we will use that for this bar dining. We can fit 3 seats in one side and then 4 on the longer side. To give this restaurant a bit of older look, we will add some wood paneling on the walls. So I used this quarter wood panel and colored this to medium brown to match the woods we used earlier. Now add tall shaker cabinets above the appliances to cover up the empty space of the wall. I'm gonna add some kitchen clutters in here, so feel free to use whichever you like. I extended the tall overhead cabinets above the counters to form a U-shaped decor above the bar dining seats. Then I'm gonna add a horizontal plank on the bottom part of the cabinet as a mini shelf. I'm gonna add some bottled drinks above for like decorations, because I've seen this in most Japanese restaurants where they display the bottles on like a cabinet above. I was actually kind of thinking about the plot data when I was placing the bottles on this shelf, but it was too plain to leave it as is. So I made the bottles a bit far from each other to maximize the space. I copied this shelf on the other side as well and just alternate the bottles to your liking. You can use different colors or bottles of your choice. I use this barbecue sauce and the hot sauce because I like the black bottle cover. I didn't want to spend much money on the custom curtains we added on the shops below, so I'm just going to use this square banners and color this to dark red. As for the stool, I love the dark red shade, so I will color that for the seat and make the legs black. I love this color combination. Now we are adding more dining tables, and I'm going to use this rectangular table. And for the seats, I will use the mid-century chair. I think it fits the vibe of the restaurant. I'm going to color the seats the same as the stool. And for the table, we will go for the wooden brown color. Then add a placemat in the middle and some clutters. Because of the layout we have for this upper restaurant, we can only fit one rectangular table. As much as I wanted to push another rectangular table, I still want to have a decent walking space going to the bar dining seats on the other side. So I will use square tables for the rest of the dining area. All of these dining tables have a beautiful view of outside since there will be windows on these walls. I didn't want to add a middle table here, so I just placed a tray section and trash bin. Color this to match the wooden design of the restaurant. Then I added this floor plant, and let's pretend this is a bamboo plant. As for the exterior walls, I copied the walls from the bakery cafe to match the whole building since this is owned by one person and being rented out commercially to food businesses. Then I used a mansard roof and adjust the height a bit taller than the shop next to it. I copied the texture of the roof but changed the color to black. Then we are adding this metal panel awning all around the restaurant. Make sure to color this first so it would be cheaper to duplicate. Now for the windows, we will use this factory window and rescale this as wide as possible. I copied the small round rod from the window below, and again, we will just add lines on this window. Make sure that the rods are placed from top to bottom of the window, so you can just duplicate the whole window later. I kind of struggled on some areas since the gaps are not the same. I tried to use the transform tool, but I can't really pick on the rod that I wanted to move. So it does look unorganized and wonky. Sorry guys for this. I was too tired to redo it, also I left it like that and just duplicated the whole window. It still feels lacking, so I added window shutters and colored this to a darker shade of brown. Now place the shutters to all the windows. I will also add this inside, so it would look complete. I don't know why, but adding this wooden shutters made the windows much better than before. I'm gonna add a restaurant logo using this large painting. As for the logo base, I will just use a basic cube and resize this to make it rectangular. This logo will be placed above the entry door of the upper restaurant. If you don't have the transform tool, you can just use the carpet hack when placing items above. I copied the poster from the other shop, and we are gonna add one in our Takoyaki shop. I'm gonna raise this poster logo on top. Then use a square beam to connect the logo signage to the wall. For the restaurant lighting, we will use the elderly ceiling lamp. I like how it looks old and traditional. Just make sure to adjust the bulb color so it wouldn't be too bright inside. Let's add some food on the dining tables, and I copied the rice bowl we made earlier. I also cooked some empanadas, and let's pretend that this are gyoza or fried dumplings. It looks like it, right? I also added some vegetable side dish and Japanese meatballs. Now we are gonna make a custom chicken karaage. And I used the shells again to make this look like fried chicken. I know we really need fried chicken in the future updates. I also colored the plates to black. And then just add some more foods and drinks on the other tables if you like. Make sure to add chopsticks and the dipping sauce that we made, and we are done. So this is part 4 in our Japanese town series. Our town is now costing over $400,000. I know it is really expensive right now. I actually can't believe it as well. So this is the middle block building that we finished today. It turned out so good for me. I love it. This is the front side of the building where we did the last part, beside the capsule hotel. So this street can be passed by cars as well since there is a parking space here. We have the Izakaya restaurant above. Let's go up first before I show you the shops at the back building. So this is the Japanese restaurant. I added a small toilet in here, which is very simple. This Japanese izakaya is open mostly during the evenings till early morning. We have a lot of windows around the restaurant, which makes the whole side have a nice view of the town. The tables are usually for 2 people since the space is quite slim. I love adding food on the restaurant tables. And as you can see, there is custom fried chicken that we made. This restaurant specializes in chicken karaage and fried gyoza. I didn't add any ramen or sushi because we will have a different restaurant for that across this building. Over here is the bar dining seats, which I also love. I liked how the bottle decors turned out even though we spent most of our money and plot data in this restaurants and shops. You can see other restaurants from here since we will make 2 more on the next part of this series. I like the bar counter dining for solo customers. And this is our open kitchen. Nothing much, but I added some chopping board with random food being prepped for roleplay purposes. As I mentioned earlier, the restaurants across will be a sushi restaurant and a ramen restaurant. So excited for this as well. Over here is the takoyaki shop. It is a corner shop which I super love because we have open dining seats on both sides. I love how the takoyaki balls looks like being cooked in front, and you can definitely smell these delicious food. I'm craving one right now. So this is the inside of our small shop. We have 2 dining tables in here if you like to dine in. I don't know if the air conditioner is being used because there is no point in using it since the shop is very open. Maybe for design of the owner only? Anyways, look at how cute those takoyaki balls are. So the owner or vendor would just use the chopsticks to flip this takoyaki balls as they cook. I just love how it looks. This is probably my favorite shop in this town. Moving to our last shop, we have the Yakitori or grilled skewer shop. We also have an outdoor dining seat for those who like to eat and go. I also love the exterior with the black metal seats and awning. I didn't want to leave the side empty because this is a town and the sides are also important not to look plain. Anyways, this is how the inside of the Yakitori shop looks like. We also have an open kitchen with bar dining seats as well. We have 3 dining tables here if you like to use a private table or if you are with someone. I also like the bar counter seats for casual dining, and you can see the grilled skewers being cooked in front of you. I added bowls of rice with the skewers because as an Asian, we love eating rice. I also added dipping sauce and edamame on the side. I love food and it brings me so much joy seeing lots of food here. And this is the kitchen side, the griller facing outwards so the smoke can pass through. You can also grill the meat skewers in there and just leave it while you do something else. This is perfect for role plays and looks super nice. So yeah, that is our Yakitori shop. Anyways, that is the end of part 4 in our Japantown series. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would appreciate your support by giving this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest videos I upload. Help me reach a milestone of 10,000 subs before summer starts. This would help me a lot, especially in making future videos for you all. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night. Love you all and take care. See you on my next videos.